Okay, test. I'm seeing how this audio is. Just setting up a few minutes early. Hopefully this mic is working okay. I feel like there's some ambient noise issues. But once people start hopping into chat, they can let me know, because I really don't know right now. Let me see. Can I check? Check. I need to check. Oh, I can probably hop into here and see it live, right? How do I see my own stream? Where I see? Where is it? Okay, I'll look in the studio. It says we had an achievement. Is that right? 100 hours of watch time? We got 100 hours? Is that right? Oh my god, that's my phone going off. Can you hear that? Yeah, I made it a little bit confusing, I guess, because I've got two different windows open. Two different. That's the wrong one. Oops, this one. Oh, we got. It says we had 500 views and 100 hours of watch time, which is pretty good, I think, considering we're just a podcast, the new podcast channel. So that's good news. Let me check and see how this stuff is displaying. If I can. Channel dashboard. No, I want to get to the your channel. Okay, there we go. That's good news. Let me check and see how this stuff is displaying. If I can. Channel dashboard. No, so do I sound low on the audio? I mute that thing there. Anyone can, when someone gets here, please let me know how my audio sounds. Oh, I should have opened the window for, what do I call it? I thought I had one here. Do I not have one? Okay, no, let me open up. Just so we can take a look at the full top 30 list. Let's go in here on live. Setting up. So we are ready to go straight away, hopefully. Let's see. I don't have let's see. Oh, Genki's here.
Oh hey.
Hi Genki. How you doing?
Oh, good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you
Oh,
fine.
okay. Cool.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
You
how
sound.
we sound on the stream though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me check. But
I'm glad you got here 5 minutes early. So I was actually going to message you and say hop in 5 minutes early if you can, but I forgot. Oh
oh,
no,
okay.
no, wait, no, I did. I did do it. I said hop in when you're ready. I said hop in when you're ready.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I got that one.
by the way, Genki,
Hmm.
if you have any like
Stream.
link or anything you want me to display, um, just DM me. Like, said you wanted to talk about Forspoken or anything like that. DM me, and then if you want me to display it on the stream,
Oh,
then
okay.
I can add it on one of my tabs. We're live now, by the way. I have put us live, but we don't
That's
officially
cool.
start for like 3 minutes. So I just wanted to make sure how everything sounded, and I did tweet out that we're live. I think retweeted.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. So someone retweeted us. Timo, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure because I actually listened back to our our last stream, and like I felt
Okay.
my audio was low, so I've
Yeah.
like changed the I've changed the setting and raised the gain a little bit. Or I've raised the gain on the mic, but I'm worried that it's picking up loads of like ambient noise. So I'm not sure.
Oh,
Hi
okay.
J2, let us know how we sound. Is
Sounds good.
if I'm too loud, if I'm too low, or if Genki's too loud, or anything. Please let me know, and then I will make the relevant adjustments.
Yeah.
I'm not sure too.
Oh, okay. I'm listening to the YouTube one now, and then you sound fine,
Mhm.
like your volume,
Mhm.
and you sound clear. So I just have to wait till my voice comes out, and I can listen to
Okay.
myself,
Okay.
because like there's a bit of a delay. So
I like that. The J2 said hello J and G. J and G. Yes. Timor. Hi. Vinnie Mac. Hi. How you
but yeah, I
doing?
think that's.
Thank you for coming out. Yeah, I'm monitoring to see if I'm to make sure I'm not hitting red bars, but at the moment we're okay. I think.
Okay, it sounds like we both sound okay.
Oh my
I don't
gosh!
have
So
to
no,
listen
wait,
to this.
one's not too loud. Oh, actually, I'm hitting red bars.
I don't know, I think you sound fine though, because I think your volume is about the same as mine,
Okay,
so
that's
it's
good.
okay. As
Yeah, because when I did listen back,
long as they're equal.
I did hear that issue. It's very difficult to kind of
Yeah,
fix that
last week your
live.
one was a bit lower.
Yeah, it was. So I've raised the gain, and let me just make sure it's not too loud. I'm kind of hitting red bars a tiny wee bit. Thank you everyone for the sound check there.
Yeah, just keep it as it is for now.
And
It's good.
now it's one. Let's officially go live. If I
Okay.
can. Oh wait, hang on. Where's the? What have I done? I don't know. Let's see. There we go. I kept meaning to make the size of that thing bigger. What do you call it? The Discord. It's okay though. It's not like a big deal breaker or anything. Hello, welcome everyone to another show. We have some interesting Famitsu sales to talk about as all. What I thought is interesting. We're going to talk about the Famitsu sales as always. We're going to talk about Forspoken a bit, and it is Fire Emblem Engage launch day. So we have that to talk about because the pre-orders have been very, very strong for Fire Emblem Engage in Japan. In fact, it's like doubled. I think it's doubled the pre-orders for Free Houses on the Komeg charts, on the Komeg pre-order charts. So this opening is going to be pretty good for that. So we've got that to go through. and I was gonna have another topic to talk about some of the controversies that surrounding Dungeons and Dragons and everything, but it's a very long, kind of in depth topic that I think that maybe we won't have all the time to go into it and talk about that. And Genki has to leave early today, or at least make sure he leaves in under 2 hours. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that another time if there's like an interest and stuff like that. Because it's also a developing story, because the company that runs D&D like responded to that and everything. But yeah, I thought that would have been interesting to talk about, but I don't think we're gonna go into that today. Zombie Tech Pad. Hi guys, thanks for getting the Amiibo word out on Twitter. Yeah. Gotta get that Amiibo word out. Yeah, they
Oh,
so
yeah, the amiibos.
Nintendo
That's so cool.
reprinted every single
Really? Oh my
Fire
god,
Emblem.
that's
Right,
crazy.
right. So every single Fire Emblem character, including like the ones, it's obviously there's some in Smash, and then there's some that are like just Fire Emblem amiibos, right? And some of those had
Oh
gone
yeah.
extremely rare, including
Oh
the
yeah.
Corrin Player 2 one, which is the
The Korean
female
one, the female.
female
Yeah,
Corrin.
yeah.
That's right. That was over $200 if you wanted to buy
Oh
that.
shit.
It was yeah, it was like 250
Damn.
US dollars. So now uh they are all reprinted. uh I got them via the Nintendo UK store. That's right. If you get them via the Nintendo UK store, it is always retail price. It's always retail price. So $12.99 for each one. So I may have gone a little, just teeny wee bit amiibo crazy. Uh, I've got pictures. Hang on, let me just. Oh wait. Let me show you the one that Jago sent me first. Where is it? Did I see? Where did I do that? Where's the one Jago sent me gone? Oh, I've got two windows open the same. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh my gosh, spending small fortunes on amiibos. Okay.
Yeah, about that. Oh no, this thing didn't even tweet out properly. This meant to say. Oh my god, I need to set that up properly. So I linked my Twitter to YouTube, and it's supposed to like tweet out, but it didn't tweet out the link because it's dumb. So what the hell? Okay, it didn't. It just tweeted out the title, but not the link. So obviously I've done something wrong there. So I'm gonna have to like sort that out. Why? Okay. Here's what Jago sent me. It's display. Wait, can you see it? Oh, you can't see
Oh
it.
yeah. Well, oh wait, it's the screen's all yellow at the moment on the live stream.
Why is it all yellow? Hang on one sec. What am I on the main thing? Shouldn't this be visible? Why has it gone blank?
Oh, I need to get the Korean one, the female one. I don't have many Fire Emblem amiibos. I think I just have like Lucina or Lucina and Ike.
Right.
I think those are the only ones I have. But I want to get the Chrome one and the female Korean one.
Yeah. I don't know why this is not displaying. Oh, I know why.
Oh, you did a transition.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because it's I don't realize like every time you have to go and set it up again.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, like the screen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so dumb. Like, why do I have to go and every time put the new source on there? It's dumb. Right. Anyway, Streamlabs aside, happy Fire Emblem Day. So this is what Jago sent me today. So Jago bought. I'm going to maybe make this a bit bigger. Jago also
Okay, cool.
bought a load of amiibo.
Oh,
You
damn.
see, got the.
That's a cool box it comes in.
Yeah, it always comes in. Nintendo stuff always comes in a box
Okay.
of Mario on the inside like that, and it's red.
So Jay goes from the UK as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, he says he
So,
lives in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool.
Because I see the Peggy
Yeah, the Peggy,
sign on the
the
box.
old Peggy. You ditched that Peggy long time ago, didn't you, Genki? No Peggy for you. I know people complain about the Peggy because it's like different colours for
Oh,
different
snap.
ages. But
But they even have those the one at the bottom, that's like the special Fire Emblem game. I forgot. That was on the 3DS
yeah,
only.
that's
They reprinted those as well?
every single
Oh my
one.
god.
Every one,
Wow.
and there's 13 altogether. Fire Emblem
13.
Amiibo, yeah. If you include all the ones that are like just the Fire
Oh
Emblem
wow.
ones and then the Smash ones, it's
I need to
13.
find these in Japan. I've they haven't been online in Japan,
Have you
but
checked?
I think some stores they probably have them, like the Nintendo store or something.
Yeah, the Nintendo store. So yeah, so
Yeah.
Jago got I don't know what's underneath, but as you can see, they got quite a few, including female Corin,
Yeah,
Celica.
female
Yeah,
coins
so
cool.
that one is a remake. Yeah, the one on the 3DS is Fire Emblem's Shadows of Valentia. That one, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, that one.
yeah. So and then
Oh, you got the Crom as well. Okay, that's cool.
yeah, so I pulled them as well. But basically, yeah, because they they
All
were
13.
I well I already had Byleth, alright, so I didn't buy Byleth. And low key, I already had Celica and Alm because I've got the special edition of that one. But and they're inside. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's what? Why are you judging me?
Okay.
Like I got them all. Like I'm doing better today. This is my thing now. I collect amiibo. I don't honestly. I don't know where I'm gonna put. I haven't got room. Because I keep them boxed. I keep them boxed now, and
Okay.
so I'm gonna have to like rearrange my shelves or put them somewhere or put some away or something. I don't. Anyway, that's enough about amiibo for once. Oh yeah, I got my husbando, Sephiroth. Yeah, he arrived the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
one's really cool. Like the detail on the wings is like really impressive. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that one.
And it sold out so fast. So I got that one and I waited until it was available on Nintendo UK store because Amazon always charges more, way more than retail price for Amiibo. And Jago said that he got it that he paid £20, and I said I ain't paying no £20. I'm gonna get it for retail price. And I waited till it was on the Nintendo UK store, and I got it. It was £12.99. £12.99 is what
That's
I'm
good.
paying.
Yeah, the Nintendo UK store is quite trustworthy.
It's good
So they're quite
because
reliable.
if you get an order for over £20, you get free next day delivery. So that's how all mine came so fast. Because when I posted the picture, I think Mouse said, "Oh, how did you get them so fast?" It says free next day delivery with orders over £20. That's how I did it. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into these. Let's get into these Famitsu sales. Oh no, wait, we're going to do.
Oh yeah, enough Amiibo talk.
Enough Amiibo talk. So yeah, we're gonna get into these Famitsu sales right away. What are people saying in chat though? Oh, and by the way, if that display is too small, let me know. Oh no, wait. Can I see the chat?
J2 says, "Where is the Ike reprint in reprint NOA Nintendo of America?" And then
Yeah.
like an
So
angry puff face
what
emoji.
what happened was basically it was like a few weeks ago. It was first noticed that some of these Fire Emblem amiibo, including the Korean Player 2, the really super rare one, were popping up in Canada in Canadian stores, and then they started popping up on like Best Buy in the States and stuff like that. I remember asking Spencer about it because obviously he knows all about amiibo and stuff like that, and he said that certain stores, that the store will reorder the reprints. So he wasn't sure if there was going to be in the UK. And then when I bought that Sephiroth amiibo, I went and bought it straight away. But I noticed in the store that I realized all these Fire Emblem amiibos in there, but they were all like you couldn't purchase them. There was like it was out of stock or whatever. I was like, sure I would have noticed that these amiibo were there before. Like if they'd have come in a stock and gone out of stock, and I was like, oh, did they all come in out of stock and go out that stock that fast? I was like, oh damn. But because I follow like various accounts that will give alerts and stuff like that. One of the accounts I follow said, oh, every single Fire Emblem amiibo is up on there on the Nintendo UK store. So I went on there and like all of them were there. The ones that were, they must have obviously put them in first before they went live, and they were all there. So I don't. It seems to be like the situation in the States is different. Where Spencer told me that a lot of the stores there, they would have like some will be exclusive to Best Buy and some exclusive to Target and some exclusive like GameStop and all this different like exclusivity thing they did with the amiibos, which I don't think they did that in the UK or in Europe. It's certainly not in the UK anyway. They're just all on the Nintendo UK store, or you can get them on Amazon if you want to pay the Amazon tax, which I do not. So I don't know where I think I thought Ike was one of the ones that was reprinted in the US. So I'll have to ask Spencer. Spencer seemed to be disappointed and said that only 2 or 3 of them had been available for reprint, because he was saying, oh, where's my ones, Jodie? I was like, I don't know. And the Nintendo UK store limits you to one per person on high demand items, like they did that with like collector's editions and stuff like that. It's like 1 per person, unfortunately. So I can't get any more. Yeah. So that's
probably smart.
Yeah.
To do that. And then Rigo Romero says, these are the days I hate having 2 jobs. Can't wait to start Engage tonight. Oh yeah. There's a lot of people like was just like can't wait to go home and play Fire Emblem Engage. So yeah, that's really cool.
2 jobs, yeah, that sounds rough, Rigo. Wow. You must be working long hours. Actually, yeah, I think I did order this special edition for Fire Emblem Engage, so it might turn up whilst I'm doing this show. Actually, I don't know, but I'm actually not going to play it straight away, because believe it or not, I'm actually playing Fire Emblem Fate's Birthright, and I started playing that one because as you're probably aware, Nintendo is shutting down the 3DS and Wii U stores, and with that game in particular, it's again, Fire Emblem Fates has 3 routes. There's Birthright, Conquest, and Revelations. And Revelations is the one that you can only get via the eShop, that route for the game. They never put it on a cartridge other than the cartridge. They put it on the special edition cartridge, right, which has all 3 routes on it. But I'm trying not to swear. That special edition is really expensive. So last time I looked at it, it was over £600. So like you can't easily get it. And for some reason, for in order to buy that, you can't just buy it straight on the Nintendo eShop. You have to buy it through the menu in the game, right? And then Nintendo put out some information saying, oh, for Fire Emblem Fates, your ability to buy that route is they're closing it a month early, or so. I don't know why. They said they're doing it a month early, since also you've got time to play it. I was like, but they're giving you less time, so I don't understand. But yeah, so I made sure I went on there and bought the physical game. When you buy the physical game, you can either buy the Birthright or Conquest routes, right? So I bought the Birthright physical cartridge, and then bought the Conquest and Revelations routes as DLC on the eShop. So that's why I'm playing that one first, because I wanted to make sure I got that DLC, because otherwise it's like there's no way, no other way to get Revelations, and there's no legal way, I should say, no legal way. People find other means, obviously. There's no legal way. By the way, everyone, please hit the like button and share out that we are live, if possible. I did tweet it out. Genki, if you could tweet it out, that would be very helpful. That we are live.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but let's start off with these Famitsu sales. Okay, can everyone see this screen? Okay, hold on, I need to enlarge it. So I know it comes up a little small, and my monitor here is quite large, so to me it looks like really big. But if it's not large enough, please let me know. Let me check my screen here. It looks pretty big there. Ah, thank you, Timur. Thank you. So let's go into this. So we had just 2 new releases last week, I believe, and they both charted. So that was 2 SKUs for One Piece Odyssey, and then there was 1 SKU for, I believe it's like the PS5 or special edition or whatever of Dragon Ball Kakarot. So that's our new releases for this week. But let's go into this. So, oh, actually, do you know what? Let's not use that. I've got this here, prepared. There, you have a nice visual as well. And I also translated the text with the Google Translate. So, coming in at number 1 was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, One Piece Odyssey was a new release, a new big release, and that was unable to dethrone Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because these are two SKUs on 2 separate systems, so PS4 and PS5. Had they been combined, wait, hang on, what does that add up to? It's like 61. Oh no, it wouldn't have been able to. It says 61, isn't it? 61, 62. Oh no, it wouldn't have. No, even if they'd been combined, it wouldn't have dethroned Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which has 64,799. So it wouldn't have been able to, even if they'd been combined. But they're not, because PS4 and PS5 are 2 separate platforms. So at number 2,
It combined, it was 62. Okay.
Yeah, 62. So it wouldn't have dethroned Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The reason Scarlet and Violet are combined is because it's essentially the same game on the same platform. But some other trackers, charts, worldwide charts, do not combine them. So for example, the NPD doesn't combine them, right? They put them as 2 separate games, and I think the UK chart also puts them as 2 separate games, which, you know, you can, that's the reason. So what was that noise? Is it sending me like an alert or something? I don't know. Yeah, please subscribe. If you subscribe, you will get there'll be little notifications. I thought that's what that noise was, but I'm not sure. So, let's have a look. So, One Piece Odyssey, PS4, it came in at number 2 with 35,000. One Piece Odyssey on the PS5 came in third with 26.8 thousand. Number 4, Splatoon 3, 22,000. I think you'll start seeing it's the usual suspects, of course. Number 5 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 18,000. Number 6 is Nintendo Switch Sports with 14.8 thousand. Number 7 is Minecraft on the Switch with 11,000. Number 8 is Dragon Quest Treasures with 7.8 thousand. Now, that's still hanging in there. It's pretty good. Number 9 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 7.5 thousand. Now, I think that did it pass the which one passed the? Yeah, I think it just about went past the sales, the total sales for. I can't highlight that. Oh. Anyway, for Mario Kart, it's just about gone past it. So that was what people have noticed that in the sales community. So number 10 is Mario Party Superstars with 7.3 thousand. Number 11 is Momotaro Dentetsu with 6.5 thousand. Number 12 is Gran Turismo 7 on the PS5, 4.8 thousand. As you know, this is bundles, basically, is the reason that's there. Number 13 is Taiko no Tatsujin with 4.7 thousand. Number 14 is Animal. It translates it as collect, which is weird. Animal Crossing New Horizons with 4.3 thousand. Number 15, Ring Fit Adventure 4,000. And actually, I'm not going to read them all. It's going to take too long. But yeah, we have notable. We have Switch version of Crisis Core Reunion with another 3,000. Total is now 79,000 for that game. So it's actually gone past the total for, I believe, for the PS4 and PS5 versions individually, although not combined. So if we scroll down, look what came back. What's this? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. What's that doing there? That came back. 2,000. Yeah. So here's the PS4 version of Crisis Core Reunion. 1.8 or 1,800. So that's 74,000. What did the other one sell? It is, yeah, 79. It's gone past it. Because legs are better on Switch games, basically. And yeah, here's the other new release, right? So this is it's not a new game, but it's a new version, basically. I believe this is like a next gen version. Next gen
yeah,
only.
it got a next gen update. Well, it's a free upgrade if you have the PS4 version, but they also released a physical PS5 version.
Yeah, so I guess this is for people who don't already have the game, basically, as a physical. Yeah, so that's 1,700. Now, what I would like us to look at, Genki, is One Piece Odyssey. The sell-through, very good. Actually, very good. That's one positive. I'm going to get onto the negative in a second, but this is the positive, that the sell-through was 80%. So at least there's not going to be loads of copies in the bomber bins. So that's the good news. Now, the bad news is what it actually sold. These sales are not good for this One Piece game that is riding on the hype of One Piece Red, which came out last year. Do you know what this reminds me of, Genki?
What's that?
This reminds me of a certain game called Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. This is like the number 2 version of that situation, which we all remember what happened with that. With that game riding on the hype of the movie, which had come out recently at the time, which Genki, listen to this. Do you know what the number 1 grossing movie of all time in Japan is?
No, I don't know. Is it the Demon Slayer one?
It's the Demon Slayer game. Do you know what the number 2 highest grossing game of all time in Japan is?
Number 2, no, Animal Crossing.
What? No, game. Sorry, movie, not game. Movie.
Movie.
Yeah.
It was. Is it Your Name?
It's not Your Name.
Spirited Away.
It's not Spirited Away. That's probably number 3. I haven't checked. It is One Piece Red.
Oh, One Piece Red did that well. Oh
it did that well. Yeah, I didn't even know that, but apparently it did. So there's One Piece.
Okay, so Your Name
hype.
must be number 3 then.
It's probably number 3 or something. Yeah. I haven't seen the whole chart, but I just saw someone say that it's number 2. So it's number 2. You got the hype of that. You have the hype of like the 25th anniversary of the manga, and then plus I'll tell you right now, I do not read One Piece. I have never seen a single episode of the anime, and I probably never will, because it's 1,000 episodes and I ain't got time for all that. But the point is, anyway, the manga is apparently it's going to just like this final arc or near the final arc or so, anyway, something like that. It's like, but anyway, there's a lot of hype around it. So it's all time One Piece hype in Japan. I can tell you that for a fact. It's all time One Piece hype, definitely in Japan. So One Piece is on a high right now. So that's why I said it's like a Demon Slayer situation, because that was the same situation with Demon Slayer at the time the game came out. 2 underwhelming sales, and then the same things happened here. This is underwhelming, and I'll tell you why, because we can make some comparisons, right? So the previous One Piece game was the last One Piece game that came out, right, was One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, and that was in 2020. Okay, in 2020, the PS4 version sold 75.9, okay, and the Nintendo Switch version sold 61.5k, right? So that's like 130. I think it was 137,000. 137,000, okay, right? For the debuts. We're just talking about the first week sales of what that sold right here, right? That's just first week. Obviously, the LTD's more than that, but first week, right? So, and I had someone that tweeted to me, oh, that's not, oh, it's only a slight drop off. It's like, why are you complaining or something? It's just a slight drop off. What? That's slight, right? And so I actually went and did the maths. It's a 55% decline. So how is that a slight drop? It's a 55% decline from the previous game. I'm like, what? So yeah, and to top all that off, because of this One Piece hype that's been going on, that old game, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, has been you remember it was charting for like half of last year. It was charting for ages. The Switch version was charting in the Famitsu charts. And last month, if you add all of December together, it sold 34.8 thousand on the Switch. That's an old game. That's an old game from 2020, right? That sold that much. So that's why I said this launch sales of 61.9k is not good. This game should easily have been like easy 150, 150,000, easy, more than that. It easily should have been a 150,000 selling game. This is a big underperformance. That is a big L. Like I said, the only good thing is that the sell through was very good. As you can see, there's not going to be tons left on the shelves. That's the good news. The bad news is that it's just the sales are bad, and so obviously it's Demon Slayer 2.0 basically. It's literally the same situation. So yeah, so I tweeted about that basically, why people were buying an old 3-year-old One Piece game on the Switch, because that's where the One Piece fans are, on the Switch. So there you go. So that's my comments on that. Genki, what do you think about that situation?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's a very like Japan specific issue, like especially with the PlayStation software sales. And yeah, as you said, like yeah, the fans are most likely mostly on the Switch at the moment. It's not like a game like Final Fantasy or like Crisis Core where the fans are still have like PlayStations and stuff, like the hardcore fans of Final Fantasy games. So yeah, like yeah, releasing a game not on the Switch is like yeah, for those kind of like anime games, like it doesn't make much sense in Japan. But yeah, apparently it sold really well in Europe because like the Christopher Dring guy said it was like number 2. It debuted at number 2 across the whole of Europe, or like most of the European regions, like just behind FIFA. So
Right.
I think it did well in Europe, but in terms of Japan, yeah, they really needed to make a Switch version. I don't know why, like, because I know the graphics are really good, like really impressive, like, but like it's kind of like Dragon Quest 11, so like I don't see why they couldn't have made a Switch version. Even
Yeah.
Crisis Core has a Switch version that's really good.
Right.
So yeah, they should have made a Switch version too.
By looking at
But
it,
maybe if they just want to make all their money like in the West, then yeah. But I don't know what their goals were with that. But yeah, in terms of Japan, yeah, it definitely needed a Switch version as well to get like double the sales yeah, a lot more sales.
I think this issue is with Bandai Namco in particular, and what they do with their games, and for reasons unbeknownst to us, they've decided that certain studios will release games. Like they have a number of different studios. Certain studios will put games on the Switch, and then certain ones they just won't. Doesn't matter what the game is, it just won't go on Switch. So like they're Bandai Namco Studios, a studio that's called Bandai Namco Studios. They don't put any games on the Switch. They don't put any of them, right? But then other things they will put on and make basically an exclusive on the Switch. like the Taiko games, right? Well, the newest Taiko game anyway is only on Switch. So what's that all about? So they'll do things like that, and when it comes to their licensed games, so the licensed anime games, Bandai Namco has a license for those. Obviously, they don't own IPs, right? So it seems, and then this is something I've speculated, that I think it's one of those things, when you have a license like that, you can't just hold on to the license and not be making games, right? That's not how that works. And some other company will get the license. So I think they have to be like constantly making these games, right? And I think that when they make them, I think that every time they make a new game, it's sort of like extending the time they have the license for, right? So you'll notice with a lot of these games, they release these licensed ones in particular. They will release a late port on the Switch, and it's happened with like the last few games. There will be a late port of these games on the Switch, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a late port of this game. And I think they do it because they could have their development pipeline so that they are targeting day and date releases for Switch and the other platforms. They just don't want to do it. It is the answer to that. Why other companies can manage to do it and Bandai Namco, it's not for a lack of money. I'll tell you. It's they just don't. They don't find it as convenient or whatever. So yeah, it's just another one of those where they just. You tell me, they make a lot of strange decisions. It's not necessarily because a game cannot run on or would not be able to run on Switch. This One Piece Odyssey game is I believe it's Unreal Engine 4, and I think it's like a game which is very scalable, right? And it's a turn-based game, so they probably could get this running on Switch. You probably will see a Switch version between 6 to 12 months from now. And if they really rush, like that happened to Demon Slayer, that was out in like 9 months. Which is fast because of how long it takes to make ports. It can take up to a year to make a port, right? So it's like 6 to 12 months is usually how long it takes. So yeah, that's with the.
Yeah, maybe they just want to double dip and they're gonna make a Switch port later down the line.
Yeah, there's also that line of thinking, right? That they want people to double dip for this. Which is a little bit, it's tiny, a little teeny weeny bit scummy, to do that. So, yeah, so it might be that situation. Other than that, with the software, just comment on that, the low number of PlayStation games. Once again, it's like a really low number. We have 2 that's a brand new game. Obviously, most brand new games that are not like tiny little niche games are gonna chart, right? Most games are gonna chart, even if the sales are kind of low, right? So obviously this was going to chart. So that's a brand new game that's on the chart, and then the other one's a bundled game, right? And then the other game, I think it's only. The other 2 games basically. This one which came out a few weeks ago, Crisis Core, and then another brand new game, which will be gone next week. So yeah, these will stick around. The One Piece will stick around. There'll probably be 1 or 2 bundled games, and then we have to wait a while for our. I believe we have. When's Forspoken out? Is it next week? It's not next week, is it?
Yeah, it's next week. I think it's 24th.
Oh, okay. So we have to wait till the week
next
after.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Right.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait to the next week. Yeah, it won't be next week.
Now that game, we'll talk about that game in a bit. That's one of our topics, so I'm not going to go into it right now. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about the hardware. So I have the hardware chart up here. Let me enlarge this. Can everybody see okay? Let me have a look at the chat.
I just want to say, I'm happy to see Crisis Core still hanging in there, barely
Yeah,
in the
no, it's
charts.
good. It's good. Two
That's good.
versions are still in the chart, right? So only one has dropped out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
two,
We don't.
two
Yeah,
versions.
the PS5 version hasn't been in the chart for the last 2 weeks, but the Switch and the PS4 version are still in the top 30. So
Yeah.
that's good to see.
So
And
what?
the total
Mm,
for that now is like 220k, so it's quite good.
oh, that's good.
Like across all the platforms. Yeah.
Across all of them. Yeah. So what will probably happen is next week the PS4 version might hang on for another week, and then the Switch version will still be there. Now the PS5 version is not selling zero. Obviously, it's just not selling enough to so that we had, yeah, the game at the bottom sold, 1,600. It's not selling enough to charts. It's not selling um enough. So we don't know what the sales are or when it's outside the chart. We'd have to wait. Oh, we'd have to wait until like next year basically to see the top 1,000 for next year. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, we would because when we get the top 100 and the top, we'll see it in the top 100 like next month. But that'll only be up until like the end of 2022 basically. So we'll know the sales for this year yet. We won't know total sales, but yeah, we'll get the sales for that. Now we've got the hardware. Genki, let's talk about it. Now, this time of year is usually everything's down. Everything's down at this time of the year, January, because it's just after the holidays, and everyone bought a load of stuff in the holidays. There's a big holiday rush. Then people got less money. Later on in January, February. So this always down. It's always down. But we have the numbers that it we have the numbers where everything is down from last year as well. So yeah, Genki, would you like to talk about this a little bit?
Oh yeah, I can just run through the hardware for a bit. Yeah, as you said, like it's after the crazy New Year's, so everyone's going back to work and back to school. So like already spent all their money, so that the number's always down compared to the previous weeks, like the beginning of the year. But yeah, for this week, the Nintendo Switch was the top selling hardware in Japan. It sold 74.6 thousand units. And yeah, that's down from last week where it sold 125k. It was kind of split up between 2 weeks, but yeah, we'll just say 125k. So yeah, it's down quite a lot. Um, yeah, almost like half, I guess, or like 60% from last week. And yeah, I think probably everyone's probably got a Switch now. But yeah, the Switch has reached 28 million units sold in Japan, so that's quite a big landmark. And yeah, I think it's still off the 3DS, which I think is the top selling hardware ever in Japan, and that sold like I think 32 million. So um, yeah, but it might catch it, give it another year or two if it's still selling that well. Yeah, and then number two was the PlayStation 5, and this week it sold 44k, and that's kind of up from the average of the previous 2 weeks, which was 42k. So yeah, I thought that was quite good. Decent, like it's not amazing, but it's a much better average than what we've been seeing. I think the average for last year was like 20k or less a week, but like these last few weeks, the average is like 40k. So that's like twice the average. So that's a good sign, I guess. For PlayStation 5, even though the numbers aren't like mind blowing, but it's a improvement. And yeah, the stock is there because yeah, most places do have at least one version of the PS5, like a bundle, usually like a GT bundle or a Horizon bundle, usually in stock in most stores in Japan. That's good to see as well. And then next is the PlayStation 4, which sold 1,099 units. Yeah, they're still making some PS4s and sending them. And Yeah, next is Xbox Series, which sold less than that, 1,052 units. And the split was Xbox Series X 267 and Series S 785. Yeah, still the Xbox supply to Japan is really low. I think the Xbox Series S is still in stock everywhere, so that's probably more of a demand thing if these numbers are correct. It's more like the demand has been reached for the Series S, likely. Um, yeah, there's not that many Japanese games that appeal, and they don't really market the consoles enough in Japan. Yeah, and with the Series X, there's just they don't send any stock, so it's like just 267 units. So yeah, they're not really. I mean, Microsoft not really focused on the Japanese market or supplying the Japanese market with consoles. Even yeah, and Sony have improved over the I think this one they want to have a good year this year because they've improved like their marketing and commercials on TV and the stock. So I think PlayStation this year they're trying to claw back the market in Japan a bit, but it might be a bit of like a little uh, too little too late. But it will see. And then lastly, the 3DS sold 93 units. Yeah, that's the hardware sales for this last week.
Thank you, Genki. I'd like to just quickly read the comments. Kai the player, hello, welcome. As a
Oh, hey, Kai.
as a fan of One Piece games, I'm not sure if Odyssey will perform as well as its previous game, Pirate Warriors 4. It seems not. I'm afraid. It seems not. One Piece Red, yeah, that was the movie I was referring to. Might I add, Pirate Warriors 4 does cover a bit of the Wano arc, which is the most recent arc covered in games. Okay, all right, yeah. I'm just a One Piece just noob. I don't know anything
Yeah, I
about
don't know much
this.
about. Yeah, it's super popular in Japan, but I don't know that much about it.
It's
Yeah, I know
just
like they're
yeah.
doing the Wano arc now, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be like a super long arc, and but it's supposed to be really good though and quite hype. So that's why people are excited about it. Yeah, I don't. I don't know what. I think One Piece Odyssey is not connected to the Wano arc, but I don't know. I'm not a One Piece guy. I think it's like a separate story, but I don't know where it fits in like the One Piece timeline. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, I should ask
I
someone.
heard it's kind of standalone or something, but sort of
Yeah,
connects to it. I don't know. I really don't know.
yeah, yeah. The art style is definitely not like Wano style, because like the Wano arc is like more like got this like ink Japanese like traditional style to it. But yeah, anyway, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big One Piece fan. I just yeah, I just know it's really popular in Japan.
Yeah, we're not the right people to speak to about One Piece. I don't really think. I think Spencer's a fan. I think Spencer knows a
Yeah, but
bit
yeah,
about One
well,
Piece.
yeah, it is getting really popular internationally though. Like, so that's really cool. Like there was like ads in Times Square.
Oh
I mean,
really?
it's always been the most popular like anime in Japan,
Mm.
like super popular. Like when I first came to Japan, everyone was loving Chopper, and like yeah,
Chopper. What's that?
oh he's like the little reindeer thingy,
Oh.
one thing like creature. The voice actor's the same one as Pikachu,
Oh really?
but they actually talk. Yeah, yeah. The lady who does Pikachu also voices Chopper in the Japanese anime. But yeah, and there was some art, like some things online, like people saying, "Oh, why didn't they put the English dubs in this One Piece Odyssey?" But I don't think they bothered to do that for some reason.
Oh, there's no English.
But
Yeah, I heard that. I'm sure it wasn't Spencer that told us that they don't. None of these One Piece games they put English dubs into
oh
or
yeah,
something.
yeah, he was saying that last time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
that's them
But yeah,
cheaping out basically. Is what that is.
yeah, yeah. That's cool though. But yeah, no, graphics. The graphics are really nice, and the presentation is really good. But yeah, it's just like like a typical JRPG, but it's fun for like One Piece fans. I think I just played the demo though, so yeah, hopefully I can pick it up later down the line. But yeah, there's way too many games to play
Yeah.
at the moment.
What I've heard about the game though is, I mean, the reviews were just like average, like 7s out of 10s, something like that. What I've heard people complain about was just they felt it was too easy. Is the only thing I've heard people say. They just thought it was kind of easy. So I don't know if
Oh,
there's
okay.
difficulty
Yeah.
settings or whatever, but yeah.
I see.
So it seems
Yeah,
to
when I
be.
played it at the TGS, like I breezed through it quite quickly. Yeah, and then I
Right.
played the demo like last week as well, and yeah, but yeah, it's alright. It's not too bad. And what's J2 says, I'm surprised that the 3DSs are still being sold. Lol. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know who's buying them, but someone's buying them in Japan.
there's a few left in storerooms, I guess, and they're probably pretty cheap to pick up. So the 3DS actually has a really good library. So if you have yet to pick one up and you've never played those games before, there's like a really good library of games to play. And plus it's backwards compatible with the DS, so you can just pop in a DS cartridge as well. So which again has a really huge and really good library. So there are reasons to get a 3DS, but yeah, the fact it's still selling is wild. And yeah, there's more PS4s, which is which is definitely a surprise. And we have a situation where the PS4 has so yeah, again, I think it was last week as well, outsold
Yeah,
the
it's been
Xbox
doing that for like
Series.
the last month or something. Ever since the PS4 stock started showing back up, then it's been outselling Xbox.
Yeah. So with there's I'll give you my thoughts. So Switch is okay. It's down on last year, and obviously for the time of year, it's down, but it's okay. 74.6 thousand. Now PS5. What I wanted to talk about, I did put that in our headline, in our title. 40k baseline for Switch for PS5 in Japan? Question mark. So last week, the PlayStation 5 sold 42.5 thousand. This week it's 44,000. So I'm wondering if this is our new baseline now, that we could regularly get 40k. I keep going to say Switches. PS5s a week. Now I did some quick maths. There's 22 weeks until Final Fantasy 16 releases. So if there was 40k PS5s selling per week until then, that would be approximately another 880,000 PS5s. And when I first worked it out, I did it wrong because I thought it was 26 weeks until the Final Fantasy came out, because I didn't bother looking up the date. I thought, oh, it's just June. But anyway, yeah, it's not. It's not. It's 22 weeks. It's 22 weeks until, so it's actually under half a year now. Under half a year until the quick maths. Hi Katana Riku. The quick maths. Yeah. Oh, are you taking a piss out? Not me to swear.
Mine's not hot.
Are you laughing
So,
at me, Katana Riku, because we say maths? Yes, it's mathematics. So maths is short for mathematics. It's not mathematic. Like, I know
quick
they say math in the States. I don't know why, but yeah.
quick math.
Maths. I did the quick maths. Katana Riku. Hello, Helio Fane. Good morning. Well, it's not morning here, or in Japan. So we're not in morning, but hello. Good morning,
Oh
good
yeah, in the
afternoon,
US
good
it's
night.
morning. Yeah,
It's still morning
States.
now, yeah. In the States.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you up early? Are you at work? Are you listening on the drive to work or something? Are you skiving off? What's going on? What was I saying now? I was making a reference to Big Shaq. Who's Big Shaq?
Mine's not hot. That guy. Michael Dapper is his name. He's from Mayans. He's from Mayans, South London.
Genki, you're
Yeah.
saying words right now that are, I think, are in English, but I
Did you
just
scap?
I don't know what you're
Scap.
saying. What's happened? I think Genki's having a stroke. Don't know what he's talking about. Genki, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What you don't? It was a global phenomenon. Like, yeah, like, you have to look him up.
Obviously, I'm out of. I'm just too
You're
old
way
now.
out the
Out
loop.
of the loop. I don't know what the
And you
kids.
live in London as
I
well.
live,
I don't know
I
what
live in
I don't know what
London.
you'd be doing.
Well, I'm not going out on road, Genki. I don't know what's going on outside.
10 toes. You gotta get on 10 toes.
I'm stuck in my flat. I have no idea what's going on. Oh my god. Yeah, Onyx was gonna get onto that. Yes, Onyx was going to get onto that. We were gonna get onto that. Katana, I just woke up. What time is it where you are? Hello, Fiend. I just woke up and I'm hungover as hell. It's 9 a.m. He was out drinking. Isn't it a weekday? I don't know. I lose track of time since I don't work. So because of my I got some disabilities, so I can't work basically. Yeah. So what was I saying anyway? Oh yeah, so I worked out that there would be another 880,000 PS5s in Japan on paper, I'll say, because we know what's going on, the scalping and everything. But yeah, on paper there would be, close to 900, another 900k PS5s by time Final Fantasy, what's they 16 releases in June. I think it's June 16th. So yeah, that if there was a baseline of 40k. Now whether this 40k will be maintained, I don't know, but that's what my speculation or hopes are, that it can maintain this 40k baseline. I wouldn't like to see it dropping lower than that, because we know that the supply issues have definitely eased up. You can get, if you want a PlayStation 5 in Japan now, I think you can you can get one, although there are still a lot of restrictions of ease, but there's a few restrictions. Like if you go on just Amazon, for example, it's invitation, which means it's like a lottery. They're randomly selecting who gets one. So yeah, but that's what's going on with that. Xbox, I don't know. We can speculate on that. It's either that, okay, so demand has been met and now PlayStation 5 is available. People are like, meh, not getting Xbox. It doesn't matter how cheap the Xbox Series is. People just don't want it. And there's also kind of my speculation that maybe Famitsu is course correcting for over tracking the Xbox Series, like all of since launch basically. I think I did a tweet about that. Did I tweet about that? That I think it's over tracking. Oh yeah, so look, here's the oh yeah, this is my mouse. I made a mistake though on that one. Xbox Series is tapered off, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I've got this graph here made by Hiskaku. This is a member of Install Base Forum basically, who makes these graphs. And you can see right here the situation that's happened. So this blue line is the original Xbox, right? The original Xbox. And then yeah, you can see obviously the Xbox One flatlined in Japan. That was really bad. And this red line is the 360, and the yellow is Xbox Series. And you can see what's happened here. It was going so close to meet the sales of the original Xbox, and then suddenly it's just like tapered off right here. Like it was going to meet it, and then it's like going down. So, I mean, eventually it will get there, but it's gonna take. It was going straight up. It could have been there, like, maybe even a couple of months ago. Or
Yeah,
something.
some people were saying like it was going to be there by the end of the year, But at the end of the year, it just it slowed down a lot.
Slowed down a lot. And there's always also this there's a situation, as you mentioned, Genki, that Microsoft is just, they don't prioritize Japan as sending for the holidays. So excuse me, they are obviously sending most of everything to the US. So that's what's happened there. So what the actual reason for that is, we don't know. It could be a combination of the things we mentioned. Actually, it could actually be a combination, and nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. What we're going to have to do is just monitor this for the next upcoming weeks and months and see what happens and see if it does pick up again. Because do you remember, Genki, there were weeks of like 10k and it was a 16k week and all of it, and then that happened. So it seems like I don't know. It could be PlayStation 5 impacting it as well. That people just don't. If you can get a PlayStation 5, why get an Xbox Series S even if it is cheap? You know, it's in pounds. It's like is it £220 or something? Well, I think in dollars, I think it's $250. So, or it's maybe like 300 yen or something like that. I don't know. Not 300 yen. What do I mean? Not 300.
Yeah, 30,000.
30,000. So yeah, you got thinking thousands, right? 30,000. Yeah, I don't know if that is the price, but it's similar price. So I don't know what happened. It will get there. It will meet original Xbox, but for all the people that are like, oh, it's doing so much better than the Xbox One. Da, 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 da. Well, of course it's doing better than the Xbox One. Look, the Xbox One flatlined. It sold like 100,000, so it's doing about that.
Oh, yeah,
but
the Xbox One looks very sad on the graph you're showing.
very sad.
It's just like a horizontal line, not going up at all.
I know, right? This is not good. But yeah, if it could, I'm now doubtful that it could ever reach 360 level. I don't think it's ever going to reach 360 levels.
No, that's not happening. Yeah, 360 is like 1.6 million lifetime. Yeah, that's never happening unless like they do some they just go crazy and make like 10 exclusives and then no wait. They couldn't do that because it would take them a long time to make those deals.
Well, they can't even do the ones that they're doing now. Like, where was the ones they already promised? Where are those games at?
Yeah. So it'd probably be next gen that they could have like Japan exclusives, apart from like Tango Gameworks.
Oh well, they have that
even Kojima game
project.
Is like
we don't know what it is.
That one is also like a way off. That is at least 2 years.
I mean, we don't even know what it is actually. They just said, "Oh yeah, I'm making a game. See ya."
You know, it's a cloud-based game, so it's not like.
Well, what does that mean?
A traditional game.
When you say cloud-based, what does that?
It's going to take advantage of the cloud, so like you can play it on like any device probably.
But you can already do that with a whole bunch of Anyway, we got. We'll be all day trying to speculate on what that is.
Yeah, that one won't be like a regular video.
Yeah, it won't be like a regular game. It'll probably be something that's interactive in some way.
Yeah, it won't be like Death Stranding or anything like that.
No,
for sure.
And Death Stranding, well, we know that Death Stranding 2 is in development. So Kojima Productions, like, I don't think they're big enough or would be able to make 2 full-scale AAA games at once. So that's how you know that one is like got to be a lot smaller than the other one. If we know for a fact they're making Death Stranding 2, right? So yeah.
Yeah, they said the Xbox One is more like an indie game scale kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot smaller.
Dang, what is a lot smaller? Okay. So yeah, so for the hardware, I definitely would like to see a 40k baseline for PlayStation 5. Not sure if that's going to happen. You can see that, I even commented like last year it was 14k. That's what we were seeing, right? It was really bad because of the supply issues. But now that has eased up, we see that now the next thing, but we need to see is this software improving because it is atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious right now. We need to see this. There can't be just like five games in the chart, 2 of them brand new, 1 of them bundled, I mean, you know, these software sales need to improve. Uh,
Oh yeah, I think the main thing is like the price point is like really a barrier towards like people buying loads and loads of games when they first purchase it, because like it's already like 60,000 yen, which is like almost like it probably feels like $600 to like
yeah,
a normal person. So like yeah, they're not like so eager to pick up like loads and loads of games like you could on like the Switch or something. So I think that's one issue, and then yeah, you have the still like the resellers and stuff like that issue as well. So yeah, I think there's multiple issues like that affect it,
there's multiple issues
that
and
situation.
general apathy and disinterest in PlayStation in Japan. Honestly, because like you say that Genki, but then where's all the PlayStation 4 games? There's still PlayStation 4s picked up that people have. So where's all the PlayStation 4 games? Why are they? Why is there barely any of
Oh
those?
yeah,
So
oh yeah, yeah. They haven't really kept up the PlayStation 4 market because they didn't supply any of those for like 2 years. So yeah, most of those users have also like moved on
yeah,
in
people
that time.
moved on. They've either gone to Switch, mobile, or PC. Basically, that was what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Because there was like 2 years where you couldn't get a PlayStation console.
Right,
So yeah, that was kind of crazy.
and
So
it's
yeah,
still
people went all over, and it's still not great. But yeah, that's why you see like the PS4s are still selling because like it was like 2 years where you couldn't find any
mm,
any
mm, mm,
new PlayStation console. So yeah,
mm,
there was
mm.
that as well.
Now, what I do want to do, and we'll probably do this next week or coming up soon, is I want to look at like all the upcoming games for PlayStation and PlayStation 5 because it's a lot of, it's quite difficult to talk about PlayStation in a positive light in Japan because these sales are so bad. But I figured that we should try a show where we kind of look at the positive side as well and see what the prospects are. You see, it's not like I'm not deliberately trying to like doom and gloom, but it's just so difficult when these software and hardware sales are just so bad. Like the hardware's improved a bit, but the software is just absolutely abysmal. It's like 90% Switch software sales. It's not an exaggeration. It's literally 90% Switch. So it's just so difficult to talk about like just the positive side. So it's not. I would like to see PlayStation do better, but unfortunately, Sony themselves are not doing that much. The stuff they do stuff, but it's just it's not it's not quite enough, unfortunately. So right now we did. Let's have a look at these comments, Genki. Let's go on
Oh yeah,
Genki's.
go watch Big Shack once you're finished with this.
Go watch Big Shack. I've no idea what that is. I'll have
Yeah,
a look at it
Michael
though.
Dapper.
Michael Dapper. Maybe I have heard of that. I don't know. So I want to talk about Forspoken and Onyx F did bring up this. Now, yes, I did notice. I was aware of that. Yeah, because I was checking Twitter before. Now we have a tweet here from Andy Robinson. Andy Robinson from Video Games Chronicle, right? So Andy Robinson says it looks like VGC sadly won't be publishing a Forspoken review on Monday, since Square Enix has decided not to supply us with a code. That's an extremely rare occurrence for us, so read into it how you like. Now, I don't know, Onyx F, if you've seen any other media outlets commenting on it saying they haven't got codes, so please
Oh
let
yeah,
us know.
there was also it's not really relevant because like, oh, it is a bit relevant.
Mm.
Like basically they didn't send out any PC codes. It looks like at all. So
Oh.
like there was Windows like Jez Corden, but he's from Windows Central.
Hmm.
He said that they didn't get a copy. But it seems like people didn't get PC copies for review. Well, it doesn't
Okay.
look like they did. So it's just
So.
PS5, and then with the PS5 one, it's
Hmm.
really limited. Like there was this skill up guy that he
Oh
didn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
one as well, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
like complaining on Twitter.
Oh, I see. He's a
So it
pretty
seems
big
like it's
YouTuber.
like
Yeah.
select, very, very, very select outlets getting pre-release review copies.
I see. Right. Yeah. Skillup's a big YouTuber. No, some people. I'm just looking at these comments here. That I'm
So
got.
yeah, usually that's not a good
That's not a good
sign.
sign. That really
Yeah,
is not a good
it's
sign. That's why.
especially with like a big like establishment like VGC. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not. That's like the PR trying to like avoid some kind of situation.
And for because I wasn't aware about the PC code situation actually, Genki, but I do know that when they put out the specs for the minimum required specs for PC, they're pretty wild. And I did have a look at the minimum required specs and what they were. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I know I'm not a big PC head or anything, right? But yeah, the specs look like it looked really high what they were asking for, and if you wanted to do it on like ultra settings, you needed like a 480 or basically the latest
Yeah, you need like
graphics
a
cards.
RTX 4080,
Yeah.
which I think yeah is like a really new graphics card. Yeah, I think you need like to run it in 60 frames per second. Yeah, the graphic requirements were like quite the PC specs were like kind of ridiculous to like just to run it the game.
So
But
knowing
yeah,
that, the knowing those PC specs, Genki, and knowing that they have not sent out PC codes, makes me think that this game probably doesn't run that well on PC. Like just with
yeah,
average
probably on like
specs.
if you don't have like yeah if you don't have like the best like super like a over 2 grand PC, it probably doesn't run great. Like yeah, because they already said like the 60 FPS is locked to like you need like RTX 4080 or above, or
Good
like
lord.
that's what they recommend.
What?
So like yeah, not many people have that, and
Hardly
because it's like really
anybody.
expensive. Yeah, and it just came out like a year or I don't know, a few years ago. So yeah, most people
What,
have
like
like the
last
30
year?
somethings. Yeah, I think I have 3060,
You have a
but
3060?
I don't.
Oh, you do a lot of
Yeah,
editing and stuff though, right?
yeah, just edit stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I couldn't even run it in like a deep. I could. I don't know. Even for like the 30 frames, they were saying 3080. You need like
Good
38.
lord.
Yeah, and or above. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not a PC guy, so I'm not expert. But yeah,
No, me
it's a bit worrying
neither.
that they didn't send out PC codes and even PlayStation 5 codes to a lot of outlets. So that's a bit of a worrying sign.
Okay, so yeah,
And
so
yeah.
that yeah, so
But I hope the
normal.
game reviews well. But yeah, it has got a lot of harsh press, and more, I think people are starting off with like a negative look at it.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
unfortunate, honestly.
yeah, yeah. So that doesn't help it as well. So it's kind of like a tough hole they're in. Yeah,
This is not a
like yeah,
cheap game that they would have spent
because
like
like
a lot of money on
I
this
think it's a
game.
game like yeah, yeah. Oh my God, I don't even imagine how much they spent on this, because they're going for like that triple A like God
Mm,
of War like Sony first party
mm,
kind of
mm,
thing
mm.
with this with the luminous stuff. But like yeah, I don't know how this is gonna yeah, I think it's a like it was just all a big mess. Like I think it's too disjointed, especially with the leadership. There's like co-directors and all this, and
Oh
like
really?
the story is written by Westerners, but the game is being developed by Japanese people. I don't know, it's just too much of a like not enough like central like direction, like clear. Like usually you have one person in charge who's guiding the ship, but here it's kind of a mess. Like it's like all over the place it seems. But anyway, I think like yeah, if you don't come to this game with an open mind or heart, like it's gonna be you're gonna not. I don't think you'll like it. So like you have to have people. They're probably trying to find people with like an open mind towards the game that might have a more positive outlook on it. Because I think like if you're not willing to give the game a chance, then yeah, it doesn't really. It's not a game that's like pick up and play and like really enjoyable. You have to like
Right,
really like try to like it to get into it. That's what I felt.
right. Yeah, it's because of the gameplay. It takes a while to get into it, but I mean I do think that any like technical issues that game has, like, because we didn't know about these potential issues or whatever was going on with PC. We've only just known this now, right? So that is just
Yeah, and they dropped those
compounding.
PC specs like really late. Like it's like a
Re-
less than like a week before, exactly a week before. So it's like, ooh,
is that not the
you know?
norm? Is it not the norm to have the?
I don't know what the norm is, but it seemed a bit last minute to me. Is that the norm? I don't know with PC. I don't game heavily on PC, but I don't think maybe that is the norm, but I doubt it.
Yeah, so people are commenting here that a lot of outlets are just getting these. They're not getting them. Wow. Okay. So I'm just reading these comments here. Normally that's a good sign. So normally, if a review codes go out early, it's a good sign. If they go out late, it's a bad sign. If they send out not as many and not as many to the big outlets, it's a bad sign. Because putting the review codes out early shows that the publisher is really confident in the game. So then when they do this as well, it shows the opposite, that they're not confident. Unfortunately, now people say, oh, it's a red flag and all this type of. This is really unfortunate again because I really wanted this game to do well. Honestly.
Yeah, me too. Oh man, yeah, I cut. Yeah, when I first got my hands on it, I like the flags went off. Like, oh my god,
Oh
this is not
no.
like I really wanted to love it, but like when I first played it, I really couldn't. But what like trying the demo, like it was a bit like I could enjoy it a bit more, but like I think you have to put a lot of effort into it to enjoy it, which is like not. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like pick up and play, and you're like really enjoying
Yeah.
it from the go. But it's not like that. It's a game like you have to like kind of find enjoyment in it. So I think that's kind of the issue with it. But yeah, I'm gonna pick it up and give it a try, and then hopefully like the full game is a lot better. Like what they showed like some of the opening and it looked kind of cool. Like there was this big dragon that you
Mm.
fight and it looked
Mm.
kind of cool. Yeah, I just hope the rest of the story is good. And there's like segments of the game where you play in New York, which I was quite happy about.
Mm.
So like that's cool. That's like super cool. But we'll just have to see how it all comes together, like in terms of the story and the gameplay. But so like the gameplay, it seems good. It's just like the environments, and I personally don't like like the world design, like the art style and stuff. It's too like realistic and bland for
Mm.
my
Mm.
liking. I like more like fantasy, like more colorful stuff. I would have liked, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I can try it and then see how it is. But yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, J2 Blue says, remember when I said Sonic Frontiers would review higher than Forspoken? I could be right, he said.
What
Probably
did
not
what did
though.
Sonic Frontiers review? I can't remember.
Sonic got like low 70s or like
Oh man,
74.
lower than that. Lower than
Yeah,
that.
I'm hoping Forspoken gets at least it has to get 80s. I'm hoping
I
it has
was
it
thinking
get 80s.
80s. That's what
Yeah,
I was
if it gets less than
thinking.
80s, oh my gosh, I don't. What they're gonna do with Luminous afterwards? I don't
I
know.
don't. I Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I was wondering that as well, and I was in Benji's sales chat yesterday, and I did ask him that, but I don't know if I can't remember if he answered it or not. Like I fell asleep at one point because like I always go into his chat because I'm modding the chat, so I'm supposed to be paying attention to the chat. Right, I fell asleep, so I didn't see his answer because he was talking about like what's happening, like probably people are aware, what's happening with Microsoft and the fact that they've done, or they're about to basically lay off like 10,000 people
Oh yeah,
for company
yeah, that was big
wide.
news.
So it's pretty
Yeah,
big news.
and a lot of that was 343 because their Halo didn't perform like they wanted it to.
It really didn't, and apparently it could be like 140 people from the studio. And
Yeah,
specifically, the rumor is it's from the campaign, because they've got a multiplayer campaign. They're saying it's a campaign,
yeah,
so it's
campaign.
a
Yeah,
lot. So what Benji was saying is like, what is the future for the studio? Because this, for those that aren't aware, um, it wasn't always that studio who made Halo. It was originally Bungie, which, funny enough, is now Sony owns Bungie, but it was them that made Halo. Bungie didn't want to do it anymore. They went on to make what's it called again? What's that game?
Destiny.
Destiny, yeah. So my mind went blank. They went on to make Destiny, of course. They didn't want to make Halo anymore. So Microsoft was like, okay, well, we will just make another studio, and then they will make it. And then, like, the entries that studio made haven't always been the best received, let's say. Certainly not like the Bungie ones. So, and then with the disappointing performance of Halo Infinite, people was like, oh, what's the future for the studio? Or Benji was saying, what's the future for this studio? And should they keep making more Halo? But now there's all these layoffs with the campaign portion. It's like, okay, well, maybe there was planned expansions that maybe they're not going to happen now because they've laid off all these people. So then I was wondering about Luminous. Okay, so Luminous made Final Fantasy 15, which didn't have the best launch. I know they improved things and so on.
Yeah, but overall it sold decently. Like 10 million it reached.
Yeah, Genki,
so
but it took years to reach that, and like a bargain, like half of that at least was at bargain bin prices. Honestly, it did reach it, but look how long it took with just like
but yeah, it wasn't a flop though. Like
it wasn't a complete flop, but because of that kind of a rocky start to it, it's then they then had a completely different division making 16, right? So it's like, okay, let's make the division that makes the successful Final Fantasy, makes Final Fantasy 14, get them to make it, not Luminous. So it's like, no, so and we know that guy, what was his name, Tabata, or what's the name of the game, the guy that left? Tabata. He left and started his own studio, I think, right?
Yeah,
so
JP.
So yeah.
JP Games, yeah.
JP, it's always called JP Games, so we don't know what they're doing yet. So, oh, by the way, if anyone wants to hop in and join us in the chat, you can hop in to our Discord. I'll drop a link because we have like 40 minutes left because Genki has to leave at the top of the hour. So let me get the invite here.
Remember when the Square Enix president said, like, when we try to copy Western games, it doesn't work?
Right, so I also wanted to say, that's what I was going to go on to say, Genki, right? Because he said that at the time that oh my god, look what I've got on the screen. It's on the screen, I didn't say it, okay? I didn't say that. There's some swears on the screen. Yeah, so at the time...
I hope it does okay in the West, but yeah, in Japan it will not do great.
Oh, it's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb hardcore. It's gonna. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. I've been following. Like, it's gone up to like number 10 on. I think it's when I checked last night, it was number 10 on the Amazon JP chart.
Yeah,
bestsellers
I just
chart.
hope it can do okay in the West. But that's the only hope it has.
On what do I call it? On Comeg. Oh my god, it's got hardly any sales on Comeg. It's not good. It's not good. Let me find it. Hang on. I'll find it. Where's the Comeg sales? Yeah, I'll find that whilst I'm talking. But
they're gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad. I'm really sorry, but it's oh man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for that. So what was oh yeah, so yeah, at the time they sold those studios, right? The president of Square Enix said, oh, when, yeah, as you said, Genki, like, oh, when Japanese studios try and make like Western style games, it doesn't, that they can't, or they shouldn't make them or something. It doesn't go well. I can't remember what his exact words were. Well, I can't remember what his exact words were now, to be honest with you. But he said something to that effect, right? And then, so a lot of us were like, wait a minute, isn't that what Forspoken is? So that kind of like didn't give me confidence, basically. That really didn't give me confidence. And like, my thoughts are, these are my thoughts, Genki. I think that because don't forget, this game's been in development for years. I think when development of Forspoken started, which would have been after the Final Fantasy 15 DLC and everything had wrapped up, I think that Square Enix, like as a company, still had that mindset that they needed to appeal to the West or have entirely separate games for the West. I mean, that's why they got bought. That's why they bought Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics and all that. That's why they bought them. Why they were making completely separate games for the West. It's like, well, we need to do that. But then what's happened is that some of their other games that are made in Japan and so on have performed very well worldwide recently, right? I know there's been like bombers like Deerfield and okay, whatever. They've had some bombs and what was it called? Balan Wonderworld and Babylon's Fall. Yes, they've had some bombs. They've had bombs, but they've had really good performing games as well. So they've had like Final Fantasy 14 is now it's a phenomenon. At launch, not so much. It took years for them to rebuild and just keep building and building and building and building on that game to what it is now. And it's I play it myself. It's absolutely fantastic game to jump into. So it wasn't always like that, and I think that in the intervening time, it's made them realize, oh wait, hang on, we don't need to do this whole separate thing to make games sell in the West. They just sell. If we just make good games, they just sell well, right? So Balan Wonderworld, obviously, Babylon's Fall, they weren't good games, but if we make good games, they sell well, right? So that's what I think. That's their thinking now. So I think I did read. I think I read an interview or something. I read an interview or something. That basically when they had the concept, or maybe I was speaking to you, Genki. I can't remember who said this now. They had the concept for Forspoken first, in the sense of like the movement and everything they wanted to do, but they didn't have a story and all of that. And then they brought those Western writers on board to outlay the story. So they got what's the names of those writers again, Genki? I've forgotten.
Oh yeah, they got Gary Whitta first.
Gary Whitta and
Amy Hennig.
Amy Hennig, who are two well-known writers, to basically outline, do an outline for the game, and then they had other writers to just like actually write out the scripts and everything. So I do think that they made this game with wanting to appeal to the West in mind. And it was at the time when, if you think, okay, so they started this development, this game, what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Maybe? 4 or 5 years ago, right? I didn't...
Yeah.
You think about that and look at what was popular then. What was popular then and what had come out. You'd had, like, some big Western made open world games that had come out. You had Horizon Zero Dawn.
Basically Horizon and God of War. And
Assassin's Creed
had
Assassin's Creed had a resurgence, right, when they kind of made it more of an RPG and stuff like that. So I think that's what influenced that. Basically, they were looking at that, and like you said, Genki, they Square Enix kind of like, they want Luminous to be like their Sony Santa Monica, right? To be that caliber of studio. So it's not that they're not a good studio and they're not capable, but it seems like the way that they put everything together with getting different writers and you said different co-directors and things like this, it hasn't quite gelled and hasn't quite come together well, because there are some valid criticisms of the game, of what we know of it so far, to do with the controls and the design. Like as you said, the world doesn't jive with me either. It does feel, and I know they kind of, it's kind of like they're saying, okay, well, there's this thing that's happened, like an apocalypse type thing that's, a lot of people have been wiped out or turned into monsters, and I know that's what they're going for, but it feels like too empty and too dry. And personally, I really dislike the enemy design. Personally, I don't like them at all. They're just kind of like, just either they're animals that are slightly mutated and sparkly or got gold bits on them, or they're kind of like blobby things with blobby humanoid looking things with gold bits on them, or they're like really weirdo zombies. Like I, yeah, personally, I don't. Why am I going fighting a bunch of animals that have got like gold bits or whatever on them? Like, I don't know. So that's, and I
Yeah,
really wanted
overall,
this
I
game to
just
do
think it
well.
needed like better direction overall, like someone like at the helm who's like directing the game in a clear direction. I think that's what it needed. But anyway, we'll have to wait to see when the reviews drop, which I'll be dropping on Monday, which is the day before the game releases, which isn't also not a
Oh, is
great
it the
sign.
day before? I didn't know it was the day before. Oh, you said it releases on a Tuesday. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, it comes out on Tuesday, and then the reviews come out Monday,
So yeah, that
Mon
normally is a bad. If it's
Monday
the day
morning.
before, that's normally a bad sign, actually. So yeah, don't want to be down on the game too much because we need to actually see the reviews when they come out. Um, but there's been some worrying signs, and I am a little concerned for the future of that studio if they if Forspoken does flop. Now, when it comes to sales prospects, it's not going to do well in Japan, but we can talk about worldwide and what this game's going to sell. Now, I've got a feeling that Square Enix themselves want this to be over 5 million. That's what I think they want, based on similar games that they've had in certain time frames and things like that. And what we had initially with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Although, it's kind of hard to compare because you have to remember that game was on the PlayStation 4, which had like a much bigger install base than the PlayStation 5 currently has, which has about 30 million. So when because that came out in like 2020, right? 7 Remake. So when that came out in
Yeah, April
2020,
2020.
there was like 100 million PlayStation 4s or something, right? In like 2020. It must have been.
Yeah, there should have been like at least 100.
Right, so that's a thing like right there that's gonna make a difference. Now, I know there's a PC version, of course. There is a PC version. But the PC specs are kind of wild, so I feel like that's gonna limit who's gonna get this game because you need to have a capable PC to run it. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. I'm going to reserve judgment until we do get the reviews. Now, I will say though that I did try the demo, and personally, it just didn't. I only played it for like 30 minutes. I just didn't want to play anymore. It personally did not jive with me. Like the controls and everything. Now I can see where some of the combat was fun, right? So some of the combat, once you got into it, like fighting enemies, could be kind of fun, but there were just other things with like the spells and things that I just personally didn't like. But that's just me. So we'd have to see what the other people think and what the general consensus is. I did want to
Yeah.
quickly show
It
the.
reminded me of Sonic Frontiers in a strange way, like playing the demo. Like, yeah, it kind of felt like Sonic Frontiers a bit.
In terms of the world, or
Yeah, in terms of like open world and like collecting like things in the open world. Yeah.
right, yeah. So yeah, I just want to quickly look at this. I'll show the Comeg pre-orders, right? So Comeg, and I know it's not called Comeg. I'm not going into this again. I'm calling it Comeg, all right? It's a it's a chain of game stores in one prefecture in Japan, right? I think it's Niigata, right? It's in one prefecture, like 14 stores, something like that. Anyway, they do this chart actually they update it daily. This is why I go to Pierre, who has the daily updates, on the chart. So we can see that Forspoken is coming out in 5 days, right? It has 13 points. So each point is a pre-order. Each point is one pre-order, and you can compare because they've got so much data on this going back years and years and years and years and years and years. You can compare it and extrapolate and really work out what the launch of a game is going to be, right? Estimate. You can estimate. So you can see Forspoken, if that's coming out in 5 days and it only has 13 points, that game is looking to sell like 15k at launch or something, Genki, honestly. It's going to be like maximum 20k. Sorry to say, it's going to be that
Yeah, I'm
low.
hoping 20k, or
It could be
20 to
20.
30.
30
somewhere
would be like
between that.
the absolute
Max.
max. Right? So, yeah. So I think. What did somebody ask about what was going to be in Japan? Is that what I was talking about now? I can't even remember now. I can't even remember. Did we have anyone join us?
Oh yeah, someone Elio Fane asked, "Are you guys taking guests?"
Yes, we are. Heliophane. Look, the Discord link is there. We are taking guests. Jump in, because we've got like 30
Oh, and
minutes
Onyx
left.
F says, "It's a pretty divisive game. 15."
Oh,
iPhone
Heliophane's
15.
here. Come in. I'll bring you in. Sorry, I didn't realise you were there. Oh yeah,
And also,
no, I was just gonna say,
sorry.
if you join, please send me a message, because I didn't realize Heliophane. I'm really sorry. I didn't realise you was waiting there.
No, you're all
join the
good.
Discord.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, Onyx F shouted out Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, I like to shout Final Fantasy 13 too. It's good.
I have not
I need
played
to play it eventually.
any of them. I know there's like 3 of them. Right? Yeah. Welcome, Heliophane. Heliophane. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Heliophane.
Heliophane works, or you can just call me Alex. That also works.
Okay. Let us know in the chat if you can hear Heliophane. Okay. I will raise your volume a little bit because you're slightly low for me actually. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's just Discord, right? Yeah. So, what would you like to talk about today?
So I just wanted to stop by quickly to talk about the I guess Microsoft layoff situation.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the I think it's a big issue with I think a lot of big tech companies over here. I just saw this morning Google announced that they're laying off 12,000 employees.
Really? I didn't see that.
So LinkedIn is kind of interesting to watch right now. Just seeing, it's kind of sad right now watching a lot of people lose their jobs, and I think a lot of these people are really passionate about what they do. Especially the Halo story team that got basically killed off last night, or not last night, but yesterday. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, so never mind.
No,
I
yeah,
guess.
no, you're cool.
Oh,
No, you
yeah.
was just saying, there was all these different tech layoffs and the Halo team. Yeah, so it's definitely from the campaign team, right? The story team.
According to reports,
About a
seems
third
like
of
it.
343 is gone, and they're just going to
Oh,
start
Oh,
outsourcing
wow.
Halo.
What?
And Halo, basically,
Oh.
343 is going to start being a basically license master, if that makes any sense, or like a coordinator.
Oh, like management team or something like that.
Yeah, basically, and development
Okay.
is going to be outsourced.
Outsourced to other studios.
Really?
Microsoft considered doing this about 10 years ago with the Halo IP. There was actually going to be a Gearbox developed Halo game.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow. Where are you getting this info from? Is this like leaks or rumors or something?
This is all stuff. I don't know if Bonnie Ross, who was head of 343, she left a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
She gave an interview where she talked about the Gearbox Halo game. It was actually her that was able to convince Microsoft higher ups to basically let 343 develop it in house.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Microsoft kind of freaked out when Bungie took off in 2007.
Right. Yeah.
343 is made up of. There's a decent amount of ex-Bungie people there, but the studio hasn't really been able to do the same. There's kind of a famous quote going around, or that goes around, where back in the days of Halo 4, 343 talked about how they hired people who hate Halo to develop Halo because they wanted to appeal to a larger audience.
That sounds dumb.
Yeah, it really was.
Okay.
Um,
How
I
did
guess it's
Halo
nice to
4
see like
turn out?
uh mixed.
Right.
It went with a totally different art style. I personally like the story, but don't really like the multiplayer. A
Right.
lot of people just really don't like it. Um, Halo 5 especially was hated when it came
Mm.
out.
Mm.
Not too many people actually. I don't think there's anyone who actually likes Halo 5, at least the storyline. Um, yeah, it's. I think it's been a rough decade or so for the Halo. Actually, it's been 12 years now since 343 really took over. I think it's kind of nice to. I think it would be nice to just kind of let the franchise die for a little bit.
Oh my god. Really?
And I'm saying
That
this as like,
drastic?
yeah, I'm saying this as like a huge Halo fan. Like my profile picture here on Discord is from Halo 3 ODST.
Oh, is it? I didn't see
Yep.
it. It just
Um,
looks like two dots.
Oh no.
Is that
it's
what?
Okay.
this. It's a sort of character. It's like an AI from the game.
Oh, I never would have known what that was. You didn't
Yeah.
tell me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I dropped off Halo after Halo 3.
Yeah, I don't really
Yeah,
blame you. I've been playing through the series with my girlfriend, and we
Mm.
just finished up the original trilogy. And I was like, wow, that would have been a really nice ending to just kind of wrap things up. But
So that's what I
you
he-
know,
oh
I
yeah.
kind of heard that so the first three Bungie made, right?
yep. First three, and then there was a spin-off with Halo 3 ODST and a prequel with Halo Reach.
Halo Reach, yeah. I
So
played that too.
they kind of wanted the story to end with that trilogy. I'm guessing, right? At the end of that.
Yeah, they really set everything up to be wrapped up. The tagline for Halo 3 was "Finish the fight."
I kind of remember that actually. I think I remember ads.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't "Finish the franchise." Microsoft had a Halo RTS with Halo Wars in development at the time. And there was even a Peter, you know the movie District 9?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ah, yeah, I've seen that movie.
Did you know that it was originally a Halo movie?
No.
Peter
Um,
Jackson was working on a Halo movie, which he ended up taking the ideas from what became from the Halo movie and turned it into District 9, but some of it still
wasn't that
survives.
Elysium or was it District 9? I'm not sure.
District 9.
Oh, okay. Because I
Um,
remember that director did Elysium and it was like it looks like Halo as well.
I haven't actually seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen Elysium.
Um, oh wait, that's the one with like the space station, right?
Yeah, like there's like a
Yeah.
orbiting like yeah, I guess I kind of there's like really rich people living up there, and then on the planet is like it's just like it's crap. It's like
Yeah, I've seen that. All right, yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that.
it's like all the planet's trash. I can't remember the reason why the planet's trash. I think it's just like they run out of resources and stuff, so everyone's poor and everything. That's really bad. So everyone wants to get to Elysium, which is that kind of space station thing that's orbiting the Earth, where all the rich people live. That's what I remember. I
And
saw it a few years ago, so I vaguely remember it.
are either of you familiar with Chris Ray-Gun on YouTube, or I guess
No,
maybe on Twitter?
no. Please fill us
Oh, I
in.
know him from Sacred Symbols.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. No, I
it,
know that podcast. Yeah, Sacred Symbols.
Genki, you might have heard of this then. I don't know how much you listen to Sacred Symbols, but have you heard Chris mention, I think he mentioned it either on Sacred Symbols or he did it on a guest appearance on Defining Duke, that he'd like to see Halo Infinite get kind of like treated like Final Fantasy 14, where it just gets unlaunched for like a year or two and then comes back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, that's really hard to do because like yeah, Yoshi P pulled like miracles doing like bringing back Final Fantasy 14 from the dead. So
Yeah.
like it's not an easy feat. You need someone who's like has a clear direction and knows what they're doing to do that. Like
Microsoft had that.
that situation is like super rare.
Microsoft had that. There's a guy named Joe Staten who
Oh
wrote the
yeah, they
original
brought him back,
trilogy for
right?
Halo.
Mm.
Yeah,
They brought
but the
him back in
management was so bad. Then it didn't. I don't know what happened. What happened?
they brought him back like at the end of Halo Infinite development. Like they brought him back in like August of 2020 after like the whole Craig demo happened.
Oh, right, right, right.
And
Yeah.
he kind of saved the game just because he did an interview with someone from I think Insomniac even where he talked about how like the game was just like fundamentally different. Like they had a crafting system in the game, which doesn't really make sense for a Halo game.
Wow.
Um, there's a lot of, I
Oh
guess
yeah,
there's a
that's
lot of like
strange.
really behind the scenes drama for the series.
Yeah, yeah, especially with that studio. Yeah, and what Chris Reagan was saying is like he knows people at 343, and like the amount of contractors they have is like crazy. Like
Oh,
people are just like working there for like a year and then they get laid off. Like yeah, and there's way too many of those kind of situations. So like he was also complaining about that. I
yeah,
remember him
there's
saying.
basically that like they'll hire a contractor, like they'll hire someone like fresh out of college, have them work on something for a year that someone else was working on, so it takes them like a month or two to even get acclimated with what they're working on. It's a really toxic cycle, and it's a problem with like the entirety of Microsoft. Like I think I don't know the exact percentage, but I know that there's like a really decent percentage that is just contractor based.
Oh, that works
Like
on. Oh, sorry. Do you mean in Microsoft in general, or works on Halo?
Microsoft in general, like I think 343 especially was a lot of contractors. There was a guy who came out before like a year before Halo launched, who was a contractor who talked about his experience of working on the game and just that it was kind of a shit show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That and Microsoft hit or 343 was like so the engine that 343 is using for Halo Infinite is called the Slip Space engine, which they claimed is
Mm.
like a brand new engine for the Halo series, but it's really just like another rework of like the original 2001 Halo engine.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really? Wow.
There were some rumors going around a couple of months ago that 343 wanted to do an engine change for Halo Infinite and change over to Unreal 5 because
Mm.
working with, well, it's called the Blam engine.
Mm.
Working with the Blam engine is kind of hell. It's the same reason Destiny was really rough for like the when Destiny 1 came out and Destiny 2 because when devs were making maps it would take like a day or two just to compile the map
Mm. Mm.
because the tools are just ancient and really bad.
It's it's really it's so hard. It's so hard to imagine how they're having so many problems at Microsoft just because they're such a rich company. You wouldn't think that it, or you would think that they would be able to, manage these studios and be able to output good quality games at a fair pace, which is what they
Unfortunately,
need basically.
unfortunately, money can't solve everything.
Yeah, it
Um,
seems so.
I think a lot of the issue, Microsoft, their internal developed games, they do something which I thought was like a pretty good idea, which is basically like throwing a studio a blank check and giving them as much time as they need to get a product out, at least in the Xbox division, which it sounds like a really good idea on paper,
On
but
paper, yeah, on paper, but I think like the studios need guidance and management. Just having a blank check and then you can do what you want and then you just get on with it. Because I have kind of heard that's what they do, like a more hands-off approach to the studios. If the studio is really, really good at managing themselves anyway and doing stuff anyway, then yeah, maybe it would be okay. It would be okay, but I think just in practice, like having those studios and having some of those studios being so big, like because 343 studio was absolutely enormous, uh, being so big and then having so many studios to manage, I I don't feel like that strategy is good or working because you look at basically you can compare them with what Sony and Nintendo do. They manage their studios extremely well. Like, I think like pretty like a lot more strictly. Like there'd be obviously there'd be a certain amount of creative freedom and stuff, but when it comes to like the actual management of how the studios are run, I think they're like more strict. It's not like a blank check situation because obviously those companies are way smaller than Microsoft, so they have a budget that they have to stick to and stuff like that. And if stuff's
I
not
think
working out, they're just like, no, scrap it, start again. We saw that with whatever they was doing with Metroid Prime 4. There's like no. I think the rumor was that Bandai Namco was making it. Who knows whether that was true or not? But there's like, nah, scrap it, start again, and
Yeah, the
then
rumor was like Bandai Namco from Singapore was making
was
it.
making it, and then apparently that's what happened with I think maybe God of War 2018 or something, where they was like, nah, it was not working out. You need to do things. That's why that
Oh
game
yeah,
took a long time.
Shuhei came in and he's like said, "Nah, this isn't it," and
This
then
isn't
they
it, yeah.
fixed it up.
Right, so this is what I'm talking about. I don't think Microsoft is doing that. That's how we ended up with that Craig demo. Halo fame.
I think that a lot of the issue comes down to, I guess, motivation. Nintendo needs to have a successful console. Sony, while they have like their other divisions like audio, their movie division, I think PlayStation accounts for like a really large chunk of the company, so they need a successful console. They need successful games. Microsoft doesn't need Xbox to survive, which I think is a lot of the issue.
I see your point. Yeah, I see your point.
I don't know if either of you are familiar with Valve, like the company
Yeah,
behind Steam.
yeah, sure, yeah.
They had the same issue. Valve's management of studios Valve's management of like developers is like near non-existent. Like there's a famous mantra about like how the wheels on desk or the desks at Valve have wheels on them. So if you don't want to work on the project, you can just move to another, and you can basically just work on whatever game you want to work on. Which is why I used to be really into like covering like Valve like insider stuff. There were like 3 versions of Half-Life 3 that were worked on internally but canceled because they just couldn't get a cohesive like dev team together for it.
I mean, pretty much
And
there is no Half-Life. I mean, they never made Half-Life 3, did they? It just didn't happen.
they didn't. So basically, the only thing and it's the same thing. Like Valve doesn't really need to make games because they have Steam.
They've got so much money from Steam, man. They don't. That's why they don't make games anymore.
Yep.
Why risk that? It's like every game that you're making is a risk and a huge investment. Why do that when Steam just prints money? You know.
I'm also kind of a little bit frustrated with Xbox. So I've been like an Xbox guy like my entire life. Like I've been, my first game was Halo when I was like 2.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Oh, you must be really young.
You must be really young. You must be really young. Good lord. You was 2?
I'm 20.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so young.
Oh, wow.
Baby.
Okay, that's young.
I had no idea you was that young. Oh, wow.
I think I was like 16 or 15 when
I was a grown ass woman, but hey, like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the direction they've taken the console, especially, they course corrected a lot with Series X and S, but I've been like a huge like, I guess hater is the only word that comes to my mind.
Oh no.
I fucking despise what they've done with DRM on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you follow Does It Play on Twitter. I used to, but now I'm blocked.
What did you do?
Yeah. I'm a physical media first, so yeah,
Me
I don't
too.
like DRM stuff.
You can't set up an Xbox without you can't play an Xbox, like you can't like it has to be like connected to the internet to do first time setup.
Okay, yeah, no, I was aware of that. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Halo Infinite on disc has nothing. There's like no campaign, no multiplayer.
So it's like a DRM check then if you're buying it and then you have to put the disc in to play the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got Halo Infinite. I got the disc like 2 days early, and I was so pissed when I couldn't play it, even though I had the disc. I had to wait until the game came out
okay.
to
Yeah.
even start downloading it.
I see. Yeah, I think basically that Microsoft, they are kind of still doing what they had originally wanted to do in 2013 with the DRM, because that was going to be like compulsory online checks and stuff like that with the Xbox One, and then there was a backlash against it and they kind of like backed off a bit, but it seems like they've kind of done it anyway with all this DRM on Xbox anyway, and like you said, it needs to be online to set it up, and then you have, what what Microsoft really, or Xbox really wants to sell you, and what they want to do, what their business plan is Game Pass, and that is entirely online DRM everything, right? Because you need online checks for that, right?
Yep, and I'll admit I'm contributing to the problem. I'm subbed to Game Pass. When I hop off here, I'm gonna go play Persona 3.
Yeah.
Um,
Right, yeah.
but
That's what I'm saying. That's what the reason why they have why they have that. Why it's for example, like you said, you could get a disc for I believe for PlayStation 5, and you could put a disc in and play a game without the console being connected to online. And it's obviously the same with Switch is like kind of like it's also portable. So
I love the Switch. I love the fact that you don't need to install games. You just insert the cartridge in, and it just works.
Yeah, you're too young, Helio Fame, but back in the day, that's how it was. All games were like that.
I know. I know. I kind of actually quit console gaming for last generation. I had a PS4 briefly, and I have an Xbox One, but almost all of my gaming was done on PC.
Which is all. But you probably don't remember this either. Back in the day, that was all. You got discs. You got CD-ROMs for the PC. Then you got physical PC games. Not anymore. Not for a long time
my
now.
time.
But yeah, I remember them. I remember you could when you went to you could go to a PC World or the various shops, and you would see like the PC. For some reason, there was always in the boxes were enormous, like absolutely enormous boxes, and it would just be the disc and the disc inside and like a manual or something. But yeah, they were in enormous cardboard boxes. They didn't need to be that big. But yeah, there was physical PC games, but that's a lot. That went a long time ago. That's just because of the way the technology was going and everything. But
yeah, and Steam just made things easy.
Yeah. Steam is really which made things easier and drove a lot of that. But again, Steam is just all DRM as well, right? So that's why there's like GOG, right? Which is
I actually buy the majority of my games through GOG now if I can.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which they don't have DRM on their games, right? So. Yeah. I mean, I don't like DRM either. And I'm not a big PC player myself, so I don't, play a lot of PC games. But I can understand why somebody would opt for GOG instead, to avoid that DRM issue.
There's something I do that I'm really just such a, I guess, piracy or not.
Oh,
I'm really
you do piracy? Is it me?
I do. I'm really such a big hater of DRM. Like I'll buy a game through Steam and then download a pirated version so I can just have an offline installer.
Oh, but okay.
I did that for Elden Ring. I own Elden Ring on Steam, but I will I have a pirate installer saved to my hard drive in case I don't have internet and want to play it.
Oh, really? But so how's your internet then? Do you have is it just a principal thing, or is your internet not great?
Principal and my internet at my house is really spotty.
Right. Okay.
But at my college where I'm at right now, I have good speeds. So.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. So I understand. Yeah, if you're moving you for college or different addresses and stuff like that. Yeah, internet is not always guaranteed to be the best, right? And not everybody lives in, especially you can normally get decent internet in big cities, right? But if you're in the countryside or something.
Oh yeah, I live in the middle. My home is in the middle of nowhere. The high school I went to, my graduating class was 18 people.
What? Okay.
My nearest neighbor was a mile away.
Oh wow! So you live deep in the countryside then? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So obviously you know what I'm talking about then, and that how that situation, it's not everybody can have the best internet and stuff like that. There's another reason why there's been kind of issues of cloud gaming taking off, right? And Stadia shut down was it yesterday or the day before? Stadia.
Yesterday.
yesterday, completely shut down. And that was the thing with that, was that if you had really good internet, stable internet, it worked. Right?
I don't think it didn't. My school had like when I was in high school, I tried it on one of the computers and I had like a gigabit connection and it was still terrible. I think cloud gaming just sucks, personally.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cloud gaming, and yeah, if I had an option to play a game natively or via cloud, I would always obviously go for a native version. Now we do have about 5 minutes left because Genki's got to leave
All right.
soon. So people in the chat, if you have any last questions or comments, please drop them in the chat.
I'm actually gonna head out. I gotta go start doing my laundry, so I will talk to you guys again at
Have
some point.
fun. Have fun doing your laundry. Thank you for joining us.
Oh,
See
yeah,
ya.
thanks for joining. Take care.
Take care.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We don't really have much. Let's see. Did I miss some
Yeah.
comments?
Oh, yeah, fun fact: Gary Whitta also worked on Halo 5.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he worked on it more than Forspoken, I think. Like more direct. He was he was an actual writer on it.
But Forspoken has like two, like other like
Oh, he
main
says
writers.
story consultant. Yeah, he was a story consultant for Halo 5.
Oh, right, okay. Didn't know that. Okay. Let's look at these comments before we go. Oh god, I missed a lot. What the hell? I missed tons of comments. You will be. Dialogue is going to take the game. That's what Halo Infinity. I don't know what he's referring to. Onyx F said this was from the area that Square Enix wanted to cater to Western gamers. Yeah. So I actually think that is why I think Final Fantasy 16 is the way it is, because this was they were developing it in that same era, right? And you know, things like Game of Thrones was really big and stuff like that. So I think that's why they went from, because look, they went from 15, which was like, you know, emo boy band, or you know, kind of pretty Japanese kind of weeby kind of, you know, to the way that 16 looks, which is very different. And 16 does not look like 14. 14 is way more stylized. Is way more stylized and than 16. What the hell? What? Sorry, my Google thing went off and it's just like, oh, in the United Kingdom, Spider-Man came out in two. What the hell? I don't know if anyone heard that. Like, why does it? It's not even in the same room as me. How did it hear me all the way from here? What's going on? Okay, Zombie Tech Pad. I did hear about this. So this is a rumor at this point, right? Bloomberg reported this. Nintendo is reportedly planning to increase Switch production in its 7th year. Was Switch really in that high demand in 2022? Yeah, so the demand for Switch is still really high, surprisingly, considering how high the console is. If you just look at the NPD results for December and for the whole of 2022, Switch was the highest selling console for the whole of 22 in the United States, and for December, which is the highest, you know, the highest sales month, obviously because of the holidays. So yeah, apparently, but don't forget, Zombie Tech Pad, it's still rumor territory right now, so we don't know exactly, and the article you're referring to is paywalled, so I have not read it, but obviously we've seen the headline, we've seen what Mochizuki tweeted out, basically just saying this. So the way people are thinking about it is that is the demand there, or is it something like they've obviously Nintendo know what their roster of games is, right? Are they thinking there's going to be some really big releases that are coming up, other than Tears of the Kingdom, like coming after Tears of the Kingdom? Obviously, we don't know what those are. People are finding it hard to imagine just because, okay, Tears of the Kingdom is enormous. You just had a mainline new gen Pokemon, so there's not going to be another one next year. So what is this? What could it possibly be? It's not Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime 4 is not going to be a big seller like that. It's not going to be selling like a Zelda, a Tears of the Kingdom, like a Mario Kart. It's not going to be selling those type of numbers, right? So we're not sure. People are not sure. Or is it something that that they're going to price cut? Is there going to be like a big price cut before? Because the Switch has never had a price cut. It was very unusual. Look, it's going into its 7th year and never had a price cut. Anyway, let me quickly address these comments because Genki's got to leave. Onyx F said, I think 16 was too, but the main staff is Japanese, thankfully. I was saying about what they're aiming about, thinking about the West with that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, 16 has a much clearer direction. And it's a quite close knit team as well. They're they're like really close. All the directors and the people working on it. So it's not as disjointed as Forspoken for sure.
It's a more coordinated, well-oiled ship in that division.
Yep.
I think that division with Yoshi P at the helm. J2 Blue says it will probably be a decent game. I can't wait for a discount. It's Forspoken, right? I think a lot of people are going to, because it's going to be $70 at launch. Don't forget that. Katana Riku says same. That's a Black Friday game for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, right? Usually not a week and a half in advance. I'm not sure what you're talking about on next left there. Persona 3 4G requirements are out for a bit, for example. Are you talking about the PC requirements? Yeah, but I mean, those games I'm not going to say this again. They're old ass games, okay? So. Luminous needs a win. They do. I really wanted to, because like the premise is so interesting, and the fact that they have a black female protagonist is, I can't even think of another game where that's been, like, especially like a big one, or even a big Japanese one where that has even been the case. Not like the movie industry,
especially out of Japan.
The movie industry has, you'll see games with black leads, like, there's not as much as white leads for Hollywood, but yeah, you will see it's not unusual, right? It is unusual in the games industry, so it's something. But because I know what's gonna anyway. I'm gonna get into that now. Luminous engine is not a great engine, says J2. But how do you know that, J2? How do you know it's not great? Let us know.
So far, the games made on it are not that amazing.
Well, 15. What else was made other than 15? Was it just 15 and Forspoken or something else? I don't know.
I think it had some other history with I think other of the other Square Enix studios struggled with it, and I think Kingdom Hearts had to switch or something.
That's what J2 Blue says. It switched it. Yeah, it was on Unreal Engine 4, right?
Yeah, I think there was another game forgot which one. Yeah, I can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah, that's okay.
Something like Type 0 or something like. I'm not. I forgot.
Okay, right. It's just. Yeah, okay. 15's a pretty divisive game. I know it's divisive, but yeah. But I'm a 13 fan. But what do I know? Oh, okay. There you go. You just outed yourself. It's Onyx F. Kyler Player says Luminous Engine seems bad, while Kingdom Hearts 3 looked better initially. I think Unreal Engine 4 was the best. Onyx also says 16 started development during that era. Yeah, that's why I think 16 looks like that. I strongly think that's why it looks like that. What they were thinking about. The difference is, as Genki says, the 16 team is so much better coordinated, and I think they're going to put out a really good product. I think 16 will end up being a really, really good game. Can't say the same for Forspoken, unfortunately. Vinnie Mac, I feel bad for Forspoken. Many people wanted an Infamous style game for a while, but it's been a while since we have one. It will not see. Yeah, it's the traversal. Yeah, it's kind of. I can see why you're saying it kind of reminds you kind of Infamous, right? Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's just like it looks really good, but maybe doesn't control as good as it looks. But they've added batting. That's one thing. They updated the demo and they added. Am I too away from too far forward? Sometimes I'm sitting back and maybe I'm too far away from this mic. They updated the demo and added button mapping. Vinnie Mac says there's absolutely no way a brand new IP and PlayStation 5 only is going to sell 5 million. That's a project. Okay, no. Vinnie Mac, I said that. Square Enix has not said that. There's been no PR. There's been nothing. I have said that I think that's what they probably are thinking. 5 million, right? I'll tell you something interesting. There's a topic in Install Base forum it says something like, which will sell more, Forspoken or Octopath Traveler 2? And that's back when we first had information about Octopath, and people are like, oh yeah, Forspoken, obviously, and now people are like, maybe not. So it's probably going to be Octopath. If you think Octopath 1 sold 3 million, right, on just Switch and PC, and 2 is going to be Switch, PlayStation and PC. So is it going to be 4 million? It could be 4 million, right? Is Forspoken going to sell over 4 million? So that's a question. All right, and here's the last question here that I'm going to answer. J2 Blue, opening sales predictions for Engage. So are you talking about Japan or worldwide? Well, I'll give you both. Because I'm not sure. Japan. So I think this game is tracking between 150,000 and 200. Now I'll tell you here. I'll go back to Pierre's thing quickly, because Pierre has, like, here's the latest for pre-orders. Look at this. Right, can everyone see this? Here's the Comeg. Fire Emblem Engage ends with 169 pre-orders at Comeg. That's more than double pre-orders, total pre-orders of Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's also close to the first week sales for that entry. So what Pierre means there is, so Comeg puts out a pre-order chart and they also put out a sales chart. When the sales chart comes out, obviously it's got the pre-orders on it and then an additional that where people bought on the day or after, right? So it's all that together. So it's saying that the game is expected to make a big debut in Japan. So basically the pre-orders are already as high as what the first day sales for Three Houses were. And you take a look at this chart. Look at this, right? So when the and I'll tweet about this when this happens. When the Comeg sales chart comes out on normally Sunday, yeah, I'll be able to make a prediction as to what the Famitsu sales will be. So I think, it's finished 100. It's gonna be like 200k. I said to 150. It's going to be more like 200k. Three Houses. It opened at over 100k. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. It was maybe 120,000 or something. I can't remember. I'll look it up later. Okay. Worldwide. Good lord, we've got this debut at worldwide. It's over 1 million, I think. Would be over 1 million. Now the total sales that we have, the last sales update we had for Fire Emblem Three Houses, it was over 4 million. And don't forget, Fire Emblem, it's not a big franchise like that. It's really been built up since Awakening, because it was almost dead at one point. The franchise almost died. And so since then it's been built up. So think about that now. That's 4 million. 4 million for Three Houses. I think Engage LTD is going to be 5 million. So when you're talking about 5 million, that is in on one platform. That's like Persona 5 vanilla range, right? Genki, what do you think? I'll just get your quick thoughts and then we'll end, okay? This is already left.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know
I
if you
have to
still
go
there.
to bed soon.
Yeah. Just your quick predictions and then we're gonna finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think what you said, it's gonna do better than Three Houses at launch. So originally I was thinking about 150k for Japan at launch. So, but now maybe it'll be closer to 200
Could be.
for launch. Yeah, but yeah, originally I was thinking 150. So yeah, like you want between 150 and 200, and then worldwide lifetime. Oh, that's a bit hard to say. Yeah, I think it will match. Oh wait, yeah, I don't know. Because the reviews weren't as good as Three Houses, so I'm not sure if it will
That's true.
do that much better. But hopefully it can match Three Houses, 4 million.
Yeah, I think at least
Would be good.
matching it would be a good prediction. The reviews weren't as good, and from looking at the reviews, it seems a lot of people were they didn't like that it wasn't like Three Houses. Basically, is what seemed to be the thing. They wanted that to kind of.
I think I prefer the old more OG stuff, Awakening had marriages and stuff, but it wasn't all this a lot of dialogue. Oh, there was a lot of dialogue, but there was a lot more focus on the battling, and then Three Houses it was focused on not just on the battling, but doing the other stuff. So yeah, I think it's going back to just more focusing on the battling. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what it was. It engages. It's focused on the battling, whereas Three Houses, it had a focus on the battling, but then there was also social stuff where you use a school teacher and you had to manage calendar and stuff like that. So
yeah, you're running around the school and stuff, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't have that. It doesn't have as in-depth kind of social stuff like that. It's more going, as you said before, the old school, and because the where they've brought all these characters back as these emblems and everything, it's kind of celebrating the franchise, right? Which is, it's a very long franchise. Okay, we're gonna wrap things up there, and oh yeah, I always forget this. Look, I have this ending screen, so let's do this.
Oh, cool.
Stream endings. What did I say? Stream
transition.
Yeah, transition. Yeah. You have to remind me to use these transitions.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Genki. Great show as always. It's been really awesome.
Thanks, Jodie.
And thank you to
everyone
Helio Fane. Oh gosh, no, sorry, Helio Fane. Who said? Call him Alex? Did you say Alex? Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Alex. And we will catch you all next time.
Yeah, thanks all in the comments, and go listen to Big Shack. Man's Not Hot.
Big Shack. Where do I find? I'll Google it.
Up. It's on YouTube.
I literally have no idea what that is.